Anything troubling you, love? Only that you were late. Really? Your PA said 9:20. Well, I'll have to talk to her about it, won't I? Well, we all make mistakes, don't we? Indeed I do.
Bow down and worship the photocopier, the master of all its surveys. Bow down and worship the photocopier, or regret it to the end of your days.
Hi, John.
Hi. Are you,
Hi, yeah, I'm on my way.
Oh, good.
Look, John, why did you have to assign me to interview this psycho?
Well...
This isn't what I do.
Yeah.
I know I've had to make cutbacks, but I really think that...
Yes, look. You're paid to think what I want you to think. Otherwise, I wouldn't pay you. Look, everyone's got to diversify right now. Getting an afternoon out of the office will do you the world of good.
Thanks for your moral support.
For only the copier can decide your future, whether it be malign or benign. So always treat it with the utmost respect if you want to leave work on time. For if you get cocky and think you are better, trust me right now, it will know. But it will wait till 4:30 on a Friday before striking...
Excuse me, Wordsworth.
I know rehearsals are very important, but she'll be here soon. I'm coming. Thank you.
Don't worry about it, love. Those big I-ams are all the same. Did I ask for your opinion? If only.
How's she doing?
Well...
What?
I lose some of the cars.
Well, I might want GTI, yeah. Nova SRI, okay. But Skoda repeat?
Good point.
Seriously? Good. Now let's concentrate on staying calm. There's no sense in worrying. Why don't we go outside onto the balcony and get some fresh air while we still can? Dear God, please see me through this safely and help me not to make an idiot out of myself. I thank you for this opportunity. Please help me to make the most of it. Amen.
Hello.
Hello, Jenny. Please, come in.
Thank you.
This way. Come in. Please, sir. Take a seat. Oh, should I take your coat first?
Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, just chuck it in the corner somewhere. Oh, thank you, that's lovely.
You haven't tasted it yet?
Right, shall we start?
Okay. Have you lost something?
I'm sorry, I seem to have misplaced my pen.
Oh, that's okay. What colour would you like?
Green, please. Sorry, no, blue, actually. this is the interview with Daniel and Lacon for next month's feature. First of all, Daniel, thank you very much for agreeing to be interviewed by Psychological magazine.
That's all right.
Okay, if you were a chocolate bar, which would you be and why?
Pardon?
If you were a chocolate bar, which would you be and why?
Oh, one that had been left in the fridge for far too long.
And why is that?
Then hopefully no one would want to eat me.
I see.
I thought this was going to be a serious interview about my book.
It is?
My book does not mention chocolate bars.
No, the chocolate was just meant to break the ice.
In July.
Okay, never mind. So, you wrote these 40 poems. Why did you feel the need to publish them?
So people could read them, of course.
But what was the thought process behind wanting people to read them?
I'm sorry, that's not a very good start, is it?
No, it's okay.
No, it isn't. I'm sorry. I wanted it published to help people understand.
Ah, to help us normal people understand.
To help everyone to understand I'm not biased to one group in particular.
Now, in the prologue, you talk about being bullied at school. What kind of bullying was this?
Unpleasant, of course.
But was there one type in particular? Physical, verbal, sadistic, perhaps?
Theft of my property, punches and slaps, competitive one-upmanship, social ostracism.
My parents are richer. You're a poorer organism.
I hate your belittling, malevolent manner.
Oh, you can't even talk. You've got a stammer.
We used to be friends.
But you're inarticulate. So here's where it ends.
And all of a sudden it was open season, untaunting me without good reason. And not content with taunting to make my life hell, you did plenty of other things as well. All good humour consigned to the bin as everyone else with you joined in. As I kept marching through the mire and sank lower. As you climbed higher. You openly speculated that I was gay, until you found out I fancied a girl, and that sent your mind into a whirl. So over a can of ties you decided I must be a womanizer, even though I'd never had a girlfriend in my life. But to you, it was just another excuse to have fun at the expense of my total recluse. As into the wound, you plunged and twisted the knife. So, I wonder who you bully today, with all the strategies you might play in your chosen career, whatever it might be. But I can now stand straight and tall, knowing you did bugger all, to break the spirit inside roaming free. It's true you did your very best to give me a life that I detest, so as to change, to gain your respect. But you didn't get me.
So he was the ringleader?
No, he didn't run a circus.
Did you report him?
I'm glad I didn't. What goes around comes around.
So he was expelled for bullying?
No. When we finished school, his friends ignored him and his entourage faded away. I never saw him again.
Well, so things got better after that.
No. I was out of the frying pan and into the fire.
Take this Bible that's been left here.
She said.
Return it to the storeroom near.
She said. But I took it home with me instead.
And every single page I read to try and please God and to know him well, but instead I was teetering on the rim of hell. So that's when my problems began to begin, as I tried to live my life without sin. And a verse about the Holy Ghost did scramble my mind and brain the most. I tried to be good and my best for the Spirit, but very soon my brain just wasn't with it. It was its own brain, it was its own mind, and to my conscience it was so unkind. For in trying to be good, I made mistakes that were bad, and very soon my life was all very sad. In hindsight, I could have used a scold's bridle. But very soon I was suicidal. I said, Father, please help me take my problems away and banish my paranoia in some way. And the fear that stays with me.
So, do you think it's the bullying?
You're going to do that every single time?
I'm sorry. In my line of work, I get used to interrupting people. It is a bad habit.
It's okay. I can understand that old habits die hard. I'm terribly sorry. Where was I?
You'd stolen a Bible.
And that's when my problems began to begin.
With the voices and the paranoia?
Correct.
So, you became an atheist? You subscribe to the God delusion?
And so we travel in circles as we travel straight, preaching about love and practicing hate. Believers and atheists preach without pause that their brand of prejudice is better than yours.
So you are a Christian?
I am.
Do you have many Christian friends?
My first housemates at university were Christians.
Ah. So you were able to identify with them with more reciprocal utility and gratification, which led to an environment that was more stable and more conducive to your mental and spiritual well-being. Above all, you could relate to them.
Can't bloody stand them. Look, don't get me wrong, my friends taught me a lot. They taught me that faith and religion are two different things. Terribly sorry. I wasn't expecting visitors.
Daniel? Oh. Daniel, can I come in?
Okay.
Look, Daniel. Sometimes, when people move in together, things don't work out as hoped.
Oh.
This is one of those times, okay? Look, they think you're odd.
Well, if that's all it is, I could talk to them.
No. They just want you to find somewhere else to live. Okay?
What have they said to you? It's my depression, isn't it? I talked it through with them.
No, it's not that, love.
No. Just think I'm a weirdo.
Yeah. No, they just want you to find somewhere else to live, okay? And so do I. So, start hunting tomorrow. How did that make you feel?
Ah, Jenny, with incisive questions like that, the glamorous job of the pit lane reporter is yours for the taking.
So, Lewis, you were leading by nearly a lap when 4 laps from the end, your engine blows up and costs you the World Championship. How did that make you feel?
That's it. I don't need to listen to this. I came here to do a serious interview. How fucking rude!
Yet you choose to ask moronic nonsense like that.
People like you just need to snap out of it and pull yourself together!
You're just like the rest of them, aren't you? There's no wheelchair, there's no problem. Well, next time you meet a deaf person, tell them they need to listen harder. Or if you see someone with a broken leg, steal their crutches and demand they walk like everyone else, why don't you?
Hello? Jenny, you can't just run away like this. He won't open up to you if he doesn't trust you. And by the way, it was a stupid question. Why not stay and find out what we've both been scared of all these years? Oh, shut up! I'm sorry.
No. I'm sorry. I should never have spoken to you that way.
No, it was a silly question. I'm sorry, that's my candidate.
I'm sorry about that. I've had that. It's not very nice, is it?
So it goes without saying you felt awful. So what did you do to cope?
I don't know what I did. I just hunted around for a new place to live. Uni and voices by day, shelf stacking and voices by night. And worried that all the time I was upsetting everybody. This train of thought is agony. Are they like this because of me? Have I done something wrong? Every time something unexpected happens, I'm filled with a cold agony that will last forever until the result comes through. Will my whole life be like this? By this agony all torn? Or is all this just coincidence like it normally is? But the agony will not let go. Might be different this time, it says. Like it always says. Its vice-like grip controls all of me. It will be like this until I know the answer. I know not when that will be, or if I will survive this time. The agony looks on to the nigh on 60 years it has controlling me. Unless the devil gets me first. I'm sure they work together, battling against God for control of me. Will it be like this forever? Dear God, please give me the strength to get through this. Amen. See someone with broken legs, steal their crutches and demand they walk like everyone else, why don't you? Oh, shut the fuck up.
Alright, again, mate. You still haven't gone to the docks, have you?
You don't need to tell me. I need to pull myself together.
You believe in God, don't you? I'm sure he'd want you to go.
I think he has finally lost patience with me.
Well, I'll have a stiff drink ready for you when you get home, mate.
No, I mustn't do. I'd only replace one evil with another. Dear Father, thank you for seeing me through everything today. And I humbly ask that you be with those people that need you today. And I also humbly ask that you forgive the bad thoughts that I've thought today. But if I cannot be forgiven, I ask that you humbly get rid of me before I cause you any more problem. I ask this in the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Should I just get rid of myself?
No. Did anyone persuade you to see a psychiatrist?
Yes. And he prescribed me medication. The tablets aren't a magic wand. Life was a sea of deafeningly quiet, monotonous fear. You just keep going. Somehow, it becomes a normality. Everything else is what happens to other people. Happiness is just a concept. You don't understand it. You just live for yesterday, fear tomorrow, and endure today, somehow.
Hoping a light will come from somewhere.
Indeed, one did.
Bit of a habit of turning up, so I've been told.
Yes. My last year at uni was a disaster. My lecturers might as well have been speaking Swahili. There was only one subject I connected with. You were giving some good answers in there. Oh, Ahmed, by the way. Pleased to meet you. Would you be interested in us revising for the exams together? Okay. Great. I know a quiet corner in the library that's good for that kind of thing. Very good. I'm going there after my next lecture, if you want to join me. Okay. I'll see you there at 11. Great. He came completely out of the blue. We balanced each other out. It was just what I needed.
But did you pass the finals?
2-2.
Well done.
Thanks.
What about Ed?
He didn't even show up to the graduation. His name wasn't even on the list, but there's no way he could have failed.
Maybe he missed his name.
I bought the T-shirt with all the names on it.
Didn't you stay in contact?
Perhaps I wasn't meant to. Some months afterwards, I was watching Songs of Praise, and they were running a feature about a woman who was having a really hard time. She was out for a walk, trying to clear her head, because she couldn't snap out of it, as some people say. And the day was coming to an end.
Excuse me? Yes? I know you're going through a dark time right now and you're finding things very tough indeed. Okay, how do you know that? You just need to hang in there. Whatever you do, don't ever give up. Promise me you won't. Things will work out. Just keep going. Have faith. I will. Thank you for listening to me. That's okay. Thank you.
And people don't just disappear, do they?
He was your guardian angel. Oh, thanks. So, you graduated into a job then?
I graduated into job interviews. You knock on a door, hoping that it will open, but normally they don't.
But you had a degree.
So does nearly everyone now. Soon you'll need a 2-2 to be a bin man, never mind an admin man.
An admin manager?
Admin assistant. After temping for the firm for a year first. But it was still better than menial shelf stacking. And look, 2/3 of employers would never give me a second glance. And that's a fact.
I know. I heard.
Alienation in an alien nation. It just makes you feel alienated.
Do you feel like an alien?
Well, that's sometimes the way I feel living amongst the human race. I feel like an outsider with brain programming gone wrong, misfiring and jumping from its groove into a different song. I feel different, as if I'm not one of the crowd. But my race will not tell me for certain. They will not lift the shroud. I don't know if I'm one of us, or if I'm one of them. I wish I could go right back to my home and start my life again. Am I here to tell this other race of what life on Earth is like? Surely they've seen enough by now to let me take a hike back to the space from which I've come, to start my life once more, and leave the life I leave on Earth to melt into the floor.
Hi, Daniel. Come in, sit down. I've been reading your poems. The one where you said you were an alien is particularly interesting.
Well, I don't actually think I am an alien. I just feel rather like one.
Well, that's a trait that people with Asperger's syndrome often have. They have other traits as well, such as hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is an enhanced state of sensory sensitivity accompanied by an exaggerated set of behaviours whose purpose it is to detect threats. You mention in your poems, for instance, about keeping a lookout for bullies.
Yes. That figures.
Another characteristic is having interests that are intensely focused. What interested you as a child?
My mother told me when I was 3 years old that I could name all the makes and models of the cars outside in the street.
That would be a classic example. Most children can't do that.
Really?
I do believe you have Asperger's syndrome. It's a form of autism that affects the way people socialise, communicate, amongst other things.
It begins in childhood and then persists through adulthood. It affects the way a person reaches common sense perceptions, as well as the way that they process information regarding other individuals. People with Asperger syndrome can find human interaction challenging. They may interpret thought and use their imagination in a different way to other individuals. They can come across as odd or eccentric. This may lead to problems such as those you have faced. And now I finally knew why I am who I am, all thanks to Les Dawson.
You mean Dr. Dawson?
No, Les Dawson and Dr. Dawson. Before I started writing my poems, I saw a documentary about Les Dawson. He had periods in his early life when he was depressed, and he found that writing poetry helped him to cope. I'd always loved him on TV as a kid, so I thought I'd do the same. This is a poem dedicated to all those who suffer from a terrible disease known to the world as normality, an illness which I have the good fortune to be cured. As I carry an asp that urges me on, an Asperger if you will, some believe that to be a terrible thing, so for them I will sugar the pill. For the asp that inhabits me inside my mind is quite friendly and not at all formal, and keeps a lookout for the times I'm in doubt and fear that I should be more normal. The asp in me can see quite clearly the faults in normality's line, and when it spots and lists and then jots them, so I can avoid them most of the time. And I'm so glad I'm not this thing called normal. It's a state filled up with so much strife. As we're all taught to be this idea called normal, but I just don't get the normal life that says we're not allowed to tell the truth and we're also supposed not to lie, that says it's so bad to bottle feelings up, but we're admonished when we cry. We're told to look down on the frauds and the cheats. We're told they're the ones to blame. But if in the process he makes lots of money, we're told it's the name of the game.
Damn right it is.
Oh, really? Well, if normal is hypocrisy and normal is unfair, and normal is to sell your soul and say that you don't care, if normal is the salesman's jargon selling schemes for bonus cuts, if that's what the normal is, then sir, I hate your guts. Okay, I have a self-righteous streak, as if you couldn't see. But I know I fail and I know I fall, says he, self-righteously. I know I've made more mistakes in lines that I have written, but unlike you, normal man, I've got the guts to admit it. 'Cause I've been an idiot and said the wrong thing, misunderstood an instruction or three. I've sometimes been a little too honest towards other people I would sometimes see, but I've never jumped on any bandwagon when I didn't care where it was going. I've lived life my way at work and at play, even when I was unknowing. I've made the errors and found the pitfalls, but I've learnt enough to get by. And I'll tell you for free that it works for me and will do to the day that I die. And so I'll keep going from night into day, getting it right and then sometimes wrong, but I'll learn my way through it as each day that I view it with the asp urging me on. Thank you.
Wow. I could learn from that.
You could?
Well, if I'd been in the same situation, I could. Everything that happened previously was the manure from which the roses grew.
Exactly. It was the happiest year of my life. And I got promoted. More tea.
It must have felt good to be happy again.
It was a challenge, really. Happy was a new emotion. I know that sounds silly, but like all new things, it takes time to get used to. And life being the way it is, once I got used to that, it all changed again.
What did the happiness feel like when you had it?
It's hard. It's hard to explain, really. You just know that you feel it.
Like being in a beautiful garden when everything's perfect, and then suddenly the weeds just start to choke it. Hi, Daniel. Can I have 3 copies by 2 p.m?
Sure.
And we've got 2 new paralegals starting Monday.
Okay.
Hi, Daniel. Can I have 4 copies by 1 p.m?
Yes.
We've got 3 new paralegals starting Monday.
Right, I could do with talking to you about the admin staffing levels.
Hi, Daniel. Can I have 8 copies by 12 p.m?
I'll do my best.
And we've got 4 new paralegals starting Monday.
I really need to talk to you about the admin capacity
Look,
levels.
just don't be so negative, okay?
Daniel, following careful consideration, I've decided that it is not necessary to increase the number of our admin staff. Following my legal expansion program, our budgetary constraints do not allow for the hiring of more staff at this time, and I believe that you and your assistant David have the resources to cope. Shit.
Daniel, Human Resources tells me you've handed in your notice.
That's correct.
Well, first of all, I want to say you're a really great employee, but personally I don't think you can see the wood from the trees. You lack prioritisation and time management skills.
But you
So I'm going to put David in overall charge. From now on, he'll tell you what to do. I've also had a really great idea. We centralise all company admin departments into one central department.
I suggested.
I have no recollection of that whatsoever.
I sent you an
Right, well, if that's all sorted. So he stole your idea? You should have gone to Human Resources over that.
I did.
Hello, Daniel. You wanted to talk to me?
Yes, I'm concerned.
We're aware of your concerns.
Look, I'm not trying to sound arrogant or anything, but everything that I predicted has happened.
Yes. It's always good to have a different insight into what's going on.
But it was my idea.
But you get ideas theft in companies all the time, don't you?
So that makes it all right then?
He didn't mean to. It's all right, it doesn't matter.
It had such a debilitating effect on me.
Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to, it doesn't matter.
Having trouble sleeping.
Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to, it doesn't matter.
I've been reading the company values.
Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to, it doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
Don't worry, it's all right. They didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to, you don't matter. You don't matter. You don't worry, it's all right. You didn't mean to, you don't matter. Good. Everything okay now? Come and talk to me again if you need to. You're a wonderful resource. Goodbye. Didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. I didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. I didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. I didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. I didn't mean to, you don't matter. You don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right.
Conniving little shits.
Didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. I didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right. I didn't mean to.
I've always done my best for them. And in return, they give me a plastic smile and a nervous fucking breakdown.
Don't worry, it's all right. I didn't mean to, you don't matter. Don't worry, it's all right.
I'm not a resource, I'm a person. This piece of paper is a resource. Piece of paper that you screw up, then when you finish with it, and throw it in the bin. Don't worry, it's all right. He didn't mean to. It doesn't matter. Right then. Right. Yes, of course. Right. You know, if that's the case, if I went out drinking until I was 4 times over the limit, and then tried to drive home and ran you into a ditch, putting you in a wheelchair for 6 months, I'm sure that the judge would say, you have shown no sign of remorse whatsoever. Before I pass sentence, what have you got to say for yourself? Don't worry, Your Honour, it's all right. I didn't mean to, it doesn't matter. Oh, well, he'd say, in that case dismissed. I think he's more likely to say, if that is your attitude, the sentence is doubled. You know what some of these middle managers do? They attend their epoxy course, graduate, and then grab their nasty little piece of paper on the way out to say that they can do the whole bloody thing. And just for good measure, they trade in their scruples, their conscience, their morality, all for a plastic smile and paper-thin acting ability. And then they're away. A whole fucking army of professional unprofessionals out there roaming the land looking for happy people whose lives they can fuck up and then take a paycheck just for doing so. Thanks to them, my brain was stuck in circles going round and round on this self-destructive rant, and it would never stop. Stop.
The only person you're screwing up with this is you. There's nothing you can do to change it. Accept it. Otherwise, this horrible little rant is just going to go round and round your mind constantly.
Stop it!
Please stop. You've got to calm down. You're going to hurt yourself. She understands. She's been there herself. And he suddenly realised, was he ever the man he really thought he was? And then are people ever the people that they say they are? Because you don't know whether they're telling the truth or not, because people don't tell the truth. We're surrounded by people who don't tell the truth. But then how do you know what they're saying? Because there's no truth anymore. There's no truth. There's no honesty anywhere. You wake up in the morning and the radio shouts at you, and then you go downstairs and the TV shouts at you, and then you go onto the tube and then the adverts shout at you, and then you go to Tesco's and all the products shout at you, and there are people constantly shouting at you. All the people who are in charge talk nonsense, and all the people who are underneath, all the people who are doing the actual real work, they're the ones who know what's going on. They're the ones who know what's going on. All the people above who are taking charge have no fucking clue what they're doing, and it's left down to the people who are doing the actual work to sort the shit out. All the people who are above highfalutin and saying things like, oh no, we're in control, we're all happy and smiling, and you can never have any of that. We've got the money, we've got the power, and you have nothing whatsoever, and that happens everywhere. You're with someone, and they're like, no, I have the power, you have no power, I'm gonna decide what you do. Everyone else decides what you do, because you have no choice left, you can't be what you want to be, because everyone else makes a choice for you, and you're left with no choice, because no one listens to you, nobody understands me. People tell you that they're gonna do things and they don't do it, and then what happens is we end up with all the real things that need the money don't get any of the money, and all the people who need to be heard don't get heard, and they don't get listened to. Because all we end up with people who just say, oh no, we're in charge, and you're underneath and you're important. Your ideas don't matter, because you're not articulate enough. Actually, you didn't go to the right school or the right university, and so you're not as educated, and you don't matter, because you have problems, and no one can listen to you properly, because actually your opinions aren't valid, because you're not part of the tiny percentage you've been put in charge. Why should we listen to the people who've been put in charge? Listen to the people who are on the floor doing all the work for the people who are in charge. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to live here anymore. I want to get out. I don't want to be in a city. I don't want to be in a city where everyone lies. There's lies. There's no truth here. There's no truth anymore, because everybody just I don't know. There's just no truth. No one ever shuts the fuck up. I came here to do my job, and I can't do my job because I just want some quiet. I just want someone to just help me be quiet. I just want to do my job. How do people do their jobs? How do they pretend? How do they do it? I don't understand what they're doing. I just want some quiet. I just want to know how people do it. I want to know how they do it, because I can't do it. I really want to know how people do things, and how they can be so normal. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so tired.
It's okay.
I just feel really tired, and I need to sit down.
Okay.
And I don't feel very well. I'm sorry. I need to. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. What time is it?
Nearly 5 o'clock. How are you feeling?
Better. I occasionally have these moments when it all gets a bit much.
So, you have had a breakdown?
Yes,
When you came in,
I know.
you could have told me. I would have understood.
Other people don't know. Please, Dan, you mustn't tell my boss. He doesn't know.
You've never told him.
When I recovered, I used to declare my breakdown on all the medical forms. And I spent a year trying to get a job. As soon as I stopped declaring it, I got a job almost instantly.
You seemed very confident.
It's an act. I'm very good at it. After interviews, I'm a nervous wreck.
I'm sorry.
No need to apologise. You've clearly had it worse than me. The thing is, I know what path I'm meant to be going down, but my brain is just hell-bent on keeping me from it.
Well, topping yourself is not a way out. It's been scientifically proven.
Really?
You know when you read about these overstressed bankers who chuck themselves off the top of buildings? Just after they pass the point of no return, they scream. And that scream has been translated by scientists from all around the world in every single language to mean that, oh fuck, what have I done now? Why have you done that, you stupid idiot, splat? There's no laughing matter.
This is wrong on so many levels.
I notice you're not contradicting me.
No, I'm not. I just wish I could have been enough. And then maybe you wouldn't have left. I wanted to kill the bastard. I would have killed him as well, but I just thought if he came back, it'd all be all right. It's hard when you lose someone and you've no control over it, you know.
Can't say I do.
You've never had a girlfriend.
For me, the idea of a romantic relationship is like a nuclear power station. I know how one works, but I could never operate one without causing serious fallout. Seriously, have you never had a boyfriend who was always on tenterhooks about what he would say and worried whether he was going to upset you all of the time? And I'm sure you dumped him pretty quick, didn't you? See?
Yeah.
I know what the concept of romance and romantic love is, but in the same way that I know what a nuclear power station is, but I could never operate one. When you were going through what you were going through, sure, romance wasn't at the forefront of your mind, was it?
Getting through the day was the most important thing.
Hmm. Well, I look at it this way. I've had 2 nervous breakdowns now. I suffered the effects of the first one for about 7 years, and the second one for about 15 months. I had my performing to keep me going, and it was to keep my mind straight was the hardest thing to do, but the most important. And I would like you to remember that for the next time. Although I want to make sure that there isn't a next time.
So, I'm gonna give you my card. You can call me anytime after 6. It'd be nice to hear from you. What's this? You didn't mention this?
Well, one doesn't like to boast. Events rather took over, didn't they?
You with a different firm now?
Yes, a very different firm. From good Christians to bad Christians, bad atheists to good atheists. Once they were bad managers and now there are good ones. End of unbearably sanctimonious philosophizing.
Dawn has broken then.
Yes, the clouds have certainly faded away. I hope they do for you too.
I hope they do for both of us.
Jenny.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll see you.
Dear Father, thank you for helping me through everything today. And please forgive my past mistakes. And help me under no circumstances to fluff this up. Amen. My head. The fury was a circling, it wouldn't let go. I was just a little worker working for my foe. But an angel plucked me from that train, turned me round on track, set me on a forward path, and now I'm coming back. And so next time when you cross the line, I'll have nothing to say. And you won't have a clue that I'm about to walk away from your pesky plastic smiles of which I'm no longer full. and your unprofessionalism in which you are so well schooled. 4, you won't even call me personal. You just call me resource when you tell me I'm a valued part inside of your workforce. And so this time and next time, I'll let you fade to black. As I turn tail and walk away, I'm never coming back. I've been down the Lacon. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
And this piece is dedicated to anyone and everyone here who's ever had to do an incredibly dull job for someone they hate. Because I can sympathise, because I have worked in admin through weeks and months and years. Today I know the good times, but in the past I've known the tears. And I once worked in an office where my friends and I were blue because of managers who'd ask us, "What do you lot actually do?" I said, "Well, I open files, close files, make files, take files, bring files, sling files, split files and copy files. I scan files, plan files, merge files, purge files, date files, rate files, style files and file files. I store files, core files and many, many more files, load files, code files, give out all the owed files, lend files, send files, mend, tend and end files, mail files, trail files, email, electronic files, create and update and redate and conflate files, employ files, deploy files and finally destroy files." "Is that all?" he said. I said, "Well, no. I do this for your files, my files, their files, spare files, old files, new files, borrowed in the blue files, red files, green files, grey files, black files, yellow files, white files, heavy in the light files, box files, scar files, all the battle scar files, hard files, style files, measure by the yard files, small files, tall files, halfway up the wall files, official files, office files, and all your other Scottish files. For when I wake up, well, I know I'm going to be the man who's making files for you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm going to dream about the files I've left on view. For I would make 500 files, and I would make 500 more to be the man who's made 1,000 files. You've just knocked on the ruddy floor. So now, I'll lift files, sift files, reshelve and shift files, rack files, stack files, move about the sack files, tidy, untidy files, all the bona fide files, Lacon files, token files, throw out all the broken files, unmix the mixed files, like all your dirty tricks files, and for all your other files, because that is what I do with files. And don't get me started on the photocopier. Thank you.